Two grumpy people. Two grumpy people. Okay. Two grumpy people.
Okay, two grumpy people, and this time we're dedicating this list to rides for kids. All rides in Disney World are rides for kids, with possible exception of Rock and Roller Coaster and
Tower of Terror.
Yes. But we're
Everest, I wouldn't really put many kids on either.
It depends on the age of the kid, I guess.
First of all, they have to already be almost 4 foot tall to get on the ride.
Okay.
It's 40-something
I
inches.
see a lot of little kids on that ride.
I know, but the minimum height requirement is like 40 inches, I believe.
Yeah. I would have been like 16 by the time I was old enough to ride that ride. Disney discriminates against short people. Okay.
Well, no duh. Ride Pirates of the Caribbean. That doesn't have a height requirement.
That's true. And that one's actually kind of scary. That's not on our list of rides for kids. Okay, rides for kids, though. These are specifically ones that anybody with children will probably want to take. We're talking about young kids. They're young kids on, right?
Like around 10 and maybe less.
Maybe even less than that. Maybe like 8 and under.
8 and under.
Yeah. But particularly if you have kids around that 4 to 6 age group, you know, that who are, let's face it, the best group to take to Disney World. I mean,
the simplest things will keep them entertained for hours.
I mean, they're in Disney. That's enough to make them over the moon to begin with. Okay, so let's start with
the 300 million rides in the Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom is kind of.
It's kind of meant to be, but you know, it's basically, you could say at least 2/3 of the rides in the Magic Kingdom you can take your 4-year-old on.
Well, you have to start with the classics, right? You have to start with the teacups.
Definitely a classic. Definitely something you're used to in any other location. So
they're going to be very familiar, and they're fun, and they're not scary at all.
And it's covered for those of you who don't want to be out in the sun. Unlike the Disneyland version, in Disney World it is covered.
And it's themed for Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, and you know, there's the little teapot and the mouse pops up every so often.
Yes, you have to point that out to them. They're gonna like that. Okay, but that's just so plain. I mean, like, they have that everywhere. So then you also have the Carousel, which is another classic, right?
Very much so.
And everyone's gonna want to look for Cinderella's horse, Cinderella's horse is the one with the gold bow in its tail.
Mm-hmm.
If I was with a child, the odds are you're not going to get that one. So just tell them whatever one they get on is Cinderella's horse. They don't know.
Technically now it is now Prince Charming's Regal Carousel.
Oh, yes, they rethemed it.
Yes, so it's not all Cinderella. Her hubby gets something too.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is.
It's got a manly name now.
No, it's horses. It doesn't matter.
Horses and Sleighs. It's one of the
Slaves.
largest.
Did you say slaves? That's the other ride in the other park.
Sleighs.
Oh,
L-I-I-E-G-H.
like sleigh ride. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. That would not be cool at all. Disney has grown up.
A little bit.
Okay. So those are I think the two most classic. And then of course you have the one that everyone pictures when they picture kids' rides at Disney.
And there's a reason why, because it's on every freaking commercial for Disney.
I hope we're talking about the same thing. The Dumbo.
Of course.
Absolutely. Okay.
Dumbo, and then all of its counterparts, which includes Aladdin's Flying Carpets over in Adventureland, includes the Astro Orbiter in Tomorrowland, and even Triceratops Spin in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, they're all the same.
It's all the same
mechanism.
ride, just with a different cover.
Yeah, you get in a little car. It's kind of like the airplanes at your average roadside fair. It's the same concept. But Dumbo is the one that everyone knows and everyone pictures, and
it is so popular they decided to make a set of them, make a pair of Dumbo the actual ride. There are now 2 of them in Fantasyland with their new expansion that took up all of 2012.
That's like they're the ones that have the new ride queue.
Yeah, they have that newfangled ride system, the ride queue idea that they came up with, which was to treat it like you do a restaurant. Basically, you go into the big circus tent. On either side of the circus tent is one of the two Dumbo carousels, whatever you want to call them. And then in the circus tent is essentially a big playground. And you go inside, you go up to a podium, you get a little pager like you get at any restaurant. You go sit down, your kids go have a blast, it'll go off, you go get your kids, you go hop in the little tiny 5-person line, and you're on a ride in however long it takes.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot think, that is probably the best new idea they've come up with
for line
years.
systems in a long time, yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Since the Fast Pass.
It's better than just interactive. That's, I mean, for little ones especially. I mean, little ones just don't like standing in
And
lines.
Dumbo is so popular. The lines are so long.
for such
a small
standard,
thing.
Yeah, right. But it is classic, so of course everybody wants
Everyone
to ride
has
it.
to do it, so.
And it's one of those that's probably not going to scare even the scariest little kid. There might be a few who don't like the idea of kind of coming up off the ground.
There is the
Flying.
heights, but I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe, like many of them, you can actually keep it from going all the way up. There's usually a little lever inside.
I've never actually ridden any of those.
I have. Oh, I rode Triceratops Spin.
Yeah.
And that one had a lever. You could move it up and down.
You took, well, your cousin, my niece, on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took back on it. You went up and down and had a little lever inside there. Yeah. But they don't always.
You know what? Which one we don't have on our list that we should have had on our... is it still that Goofy's Barnstormer?
It is now the Great Goofini, because it's
Great
more
Goofini.
circus, and a little bit more circus themed, and that's what they went with as their new Fantasyland theme. For the old Toontown Fair area is now more of a circus theme to go with Dumbo a little bit better. But yeah, it's now Goofini something or other. But it's the same attraction, it's just different colors.
But so they're not going to have the chickens clucking anymore, right?
No, the whole
I like
the
the
whole
chickens
barn is
clucking.
gone.
The clicking, it was hilarious. You come through the barn and they were wah, 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 and you would count the number of times that they cluck. Okay. Like,
And plus, it
only
gave you
silly
something you
people
could
like
walk
us
through
like
when
that.
you in the queue. That was also part of the queue.
Yes.
That was always so cool. They just right through the queue.
So what's in the queue now for the Great?
I have no clue what the Goofini looks like yet.
Okay, so somebody who's been on the Great Goofini, email us or something and let us know what's going on with that. Because we love that. That was like the smallest kid-friendly roller coaster.
It's like the Caterpillar at your local fair.
And it was not. It was, as my niece said,
It was not so hideous.
Yeah, it's not too kiddie-ish.
so it was a nice little
Just
ride.
enough thrill for little ones, you know.
Very, very carefully designed. I like that one. Okay. They
Also,
could
it's
have
not
kept it a
Cropbuster
Barnstormer.
vehicles either.
They could have kept it a Barnstormer because that used to be part of a circus act quite frequently back in the days when they had
I think
Barnstormers.
I think they did keep everything but the farm. I think it's now like a circus tent or something. I think it's probably all they did because I know they didn't do much. They left it basically alone.
Well, there's no reason to change it. It was pretty popular.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's get back to our list that we actually had written down. Another one in Magic Kingdom. Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger Spin.
Oh yeah. That's the one you get in the little vehicles. You have a controller. You can spin it around 360 while it follows the track, and you have little guns, and you try to shoot the targets all over the place.
Right. That one's a blast because you could actually try to compete, and at the end you have a score, so you can say, "Oh, my score was 8 million," and my score was 347.
Or it's just fun for the little kids who just want to make their adults puke by throwing the lever to one side and making it spin the whole time. Just spin and spin and spin and spin. You can literally spin almost the entire attraction. And
Yeah,
it goes
so
at a
if you're a
decent
grown
pace.
up and you have a child likely to do that, you might want to take control of that little lever from the beginning. I'm
Yes.
just saying.
You can fit 3 people comfortably in it is all I'm saying. You might want to make sure they're not in the middle.
Give the child the little gun thing and let them do the shooting, and you do the
The
little
lever.
lever.
You put both your hands around that lever.
Guard it with your life. It's everybody loves that game. It's so much fun. What you're shooting at is not
simple.
realistic at all, so you don't have to worry about it if you have a thing about
It's all
guns.
toys and Rock'em Sock'em robots and Zurg.
And
There's
everything
nothing
is
wrong with it.
day glow painted, and it's really cool.
It's kind of cool because it's got a blacklight theme to it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
And it usually doesn't have too many problems as far as breaking down. It does every once in a while, but not very often.
It's a decently long ride too. It's not one of those ones that feel like it's over before it started.
Yeah, it's one of the ones, it's actually another one that's in a place that has been changed several times. It was 2 different airplane adventures before it was that. In fact, that final tunnel in it, where it's the video and you're shooting the Zurg on the wall, that used to be a flight sequence that you used to fly through,
Cool.
supposedly, when it was Delta Dream Flight or whatever.
The only thing wrong with Buzz Lightyear is, even after all this time, the line is still pretty long.
Yeah, because it's so popular. I mean, that one's one of the ones that actually still has fast passes. And for something like that, I wouldn't expect it because it's another one's a continuous loader. It has the conveyor belt you step on while you're loading into the thing. It doesn't stop unless there's a handicapped person. So I don't see, but I'm guessing it's got a huge line because it's hugely popular.
Well, we know it's hugely popular because they essentially duplicated it when they made Toy Story Midway Mania.
Oh my god, yes. And that's it's similar in the concept of you have the little car that can spin around, but you don't control it because it lines you up to 3D projection screens and you just shoot digital targets with the characters from Toy Story. But yeah, it is basically the same thing, except for you don't get a photo at the end of that where you do it Space Ranger spin.
Oh. No, I hadn't noticed that.
No photo.
Well, the
but
great
you do
thing
get the
about,
points.
Yeah. And you're playing different games, where in
True.
Buzz Lightyear it's all one
It's
long
all one
game
shoot 'em
where
up
you're
game.
shooting.
And the other one you have ring toss, you have pop the bubbles, you have all kinds of fun. And then if someone's taking too long, they have to pause it. Instead of you just sitting there while they load the handicapped person, it actually switches to a bonus round, and you get to play some Army Men game or something that's the same on all the screens. And it's just for fun, and it gives you bonus points.
That's awesome.
So, you know...
So then you're actually waiting for the handicapped person to get over.
Basically,
You're like,
yeah,
yes!
it's a lot
Yes,
more
I got
fun.
a
You get a
handicapped
longer
person.
playing time, you get more to do, and you get to watch
For
the
the first
fun game.
time,
you
the
don't
handicapped
usually
people don't have to feel like they're inconveniencing others. They feel like, yes, I gave everyone a bonus round!
Exactly.
Woohoo!
And no one gets, oh crap, we have to sit here and wait while we stare at Zurg for 20 minutes. You know,
There
we
are
just
worse
get-
things to stare at for 20 minutes.
True.
We've been on some rides where you stared at worse things for 20 minutes.
Carousel of Progress.
Not
You get to
usually
live the 1970s for 3 years.
Well, they keep singing the same song.
It will be a great, big, beautiful tomorrow once the carousel has started again.
You're like praying for tomorrow at that point.
Works.
Toy Story Mania, if anything, has an even longer line than Buzz Lightyear.
It is also newer.
And it's also in a different park.
And it's also, yeah, it's in Hollywood Studios, so they
Hollywood
don't
Studios.
have anything like that. I mean, they have digital screens.
Isn't that pretty
but
much the
not
only
games.
thing down Pixar Place?
Currently, yes. There is meet and greet across the way in a tiny little shop.
But Toy Story Mania's queue line also has the...
One of the really, really, really cool, really new audio animatronic figures they have, Mr. Potato Head.
It is so
It
awesome.
is very similar to almost all the other ones, including, most importantly, the Buzz Lightyear one, with one huge difference, besides he's a potato,
Besides he's a potato.
is that
He's
it
a
has
Mr.
a
Potato.
fully
He's not just a
articulating mouth that can actually make just about any shape it needs to make a more realistic expression or
Yeah,
words.
Because Buzz Lightyear is just like a screen. His
Yeah,
whole face
his whole
is a
face
screen.
is a screen. They just put a digital image on there.
Right.
So yeah, he can make any shape he wants. But this one is actually, I'm not sure what material they use, but it's fully articulating actual mouth, as opposed to, just being open, close, like 90%
Like
of them
most
are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
pretty
that's
awesome.
extremely awesome.
And he actually takes his... I remember the first time I saw
Oh
him
yeah,
go, I'm
yes,
like,
the
how do
coolest
they,
thing.
He can actually reach up, grab his ear, take it out, and put it back in.
And about 75% of the time he puts it back in without failing.
Yeah, most of the time.
25% of the time he'll either accidentally rip his ear back out, by mean as he didn't let go when he put it in, and takes it back out when he moves his arm down, or he'll just drop it after trying to put it back in and it'll fall out. Either way, you're going to stare at a very blank Mr. Potato Head for a while. Until someone comes out and puts his ear back in.
He doesn't speak, he just stares at you and blinks.
Sometimes with a jaw open type expression on his face, like,
I go, oh no. That is funny. I wonder if...
that's
have you
the-
ever seen the guy come out and actually,
Yes,
the girl
I
put
have.
the ear back in?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
and then he starts right up.
I've not seen it. But, yeah, that would be an
Usually what they
interesting
have
thing
to do is they have to close the curtains, put the ear in, and then they press a button so he resets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really think those of you guys, anyone listening that works programming for Disney animatronics, reprogram him so that he doesn't have to stop just because he doesn't have his ear anymore. It shouldn't be a hard fault to make him shut down.
Couldn't he make a joke at that point about,
He can
haha,
make a-
dropped it or something, and then
He
just
can
go
make a
on?
quick joke, and then you just take that little bit, that little skit, out of the playlist, and leave the rest of it going. And he would just do it without his ear until a cast member can come by and fix it later. It doesn't have to be a show-stopping number.
It really, yeah, you could really tell the mood of the room changes when he's not working.
Yeah, when
But
he just
everybody
shuts down,
sees him and
everyone's-
they're all.
they'll
awed by
interact with him
him.
because he somewhat interacts with them.
Yes,
It's hilarious.
and he tells jokes and.
Actually, he doesn't really actually interact with people. I'm not quite
No,
sure how he
it
does.
just seems like he's interacting.
It really does. It's very convincing interactivity from something that's automated.
Yeah.
Very convincing. Because he'll say, hey, you in the hat and stuff. And
Isn't there always someone in a hat?
But, I mean, yeah, he's using the law of probability, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
It works extraordinarily well. It works as well as most, what do you call it? Psychics.
Yeah.
You know, it works about as well as them.
Not very well, then? Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you're using a cold reading, eventually you'll get a.
That's true.
Eventually you'll get a.
There you
proper
have it,
response.
folks. There you have it. You wanted your proof about your psychics? Mr. Potato Head is as
Can do
good
the
as
exact same thing, and he's pre-programmed.
Potato Head does cold readings. You're gonna get some trouble with the James Randi Foundation. Okay.
Either that, or we'll get extra YouTube hits.
Hey, it could happen. What about Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid?
Oh, Journey Under the Sea with the Little Mermaid,
Under the
Voyage Under the
Sea.
Sea, whatever they call it.
Okay, so tell us about that one.
Okay, yeah, that one's for those of people who know Disneyland. It's already been around for a while, but they've brought it to Disney World as part of the new Fantasyland expansion because they're going to have an area theme for just about every princess, including Ariel, the Little Mermaid. So that one,
Which I think is sexist. They don't have an area for each prince.
no, because they're the husband.
They do have the sword and the stone thing, but that's it.
If it's even still
He
there
doesn't
at
even
this
have his
point.
own. Oh, I'm sure they're not going to get rid of
I
that.
would hope not. I haven't seen. I
That's
haven't
iconic.
seen it. But, you know.
Okay.
You get in these little clam shells, little clam mobiles, and then you ride past mostly audio animatronics for about 99% of it. There's a little bit of video, but it's 99% audio animatronic figures. And you go past, and you basically follow the story of the Little Mermaid like you see it in the film. Nothing special there. The audio animatronics are not top grade, except the finale with Ursula. That thing is the most advanced, well detailed, well designed, well animated audio animatronics figure they've seen in quite a while, and it looks extremely amazing on where I've seen it. Again, mostly off videos, but from what I've seen, it looks amazing.
So is this something that mostly people are going to go see because they're fanatics and they love the tech of it? and
They're going for it because it's the Little Mermaid. They love the Little. That's why they're going. They love the Little Mermaid story. That's it. Nothing more. There's nothing more value there. The queue it has some really neat interactivity that's new.
So this is not a
but,
ride.
It's a show and
a
a
show.
ride, kind of
Okay.
a tape thing. It's an omni-mover vehicle,
Oh, okay.
like you see in the Haunted Mansion, like you see in the Finding Nemo, which is basically the same thing, except for instead of you watching audio animatronics, you watch
Yeah,
video screens
But
projected
Finding
on the.
Nemo has a purpose because it gets you to the under the seas undersea part.
Unless you just go around. There's actually a little divider, and you can just go over, and you're looking at the main room on the other side of the actual attraction. It's not actually dividing you from the actual thing anymore. It's kind of like just a doorway on the side of a wall that leads to the room. On the side of a hall, I mean, not a wall.
That really wasn't particularly illustrative, but okay.
It's now it's more off to the side once you get to the front of the line than
But I
it
like the
feels like
Finding
when you're in
Nemo
the-
ride. I want to go that way to go into the shark
well,
tanks.
yes, so would I.
Because the Living Seas is a pretty awesome exhibit.
Albeit kind of dull.
It depends on what.
If
it's
you're
not
really
a quote unquote
into-
Disney experience.
Yeah.
It's
if you're
but
really into marine biology, it's a great place.
well, I mean, even a lot of kids just love it. I mean, who doesn't love? It's a shark, or they have dolphins, so
Yeah, and they have
not
shark
many,
tanks.
of course. And they have the giant stingrays and various
They
other.
do have a lot of things. They used to have a lot more.
Yeah.
They've gotten rid of a lot of their exhibits.
What was the reason for that?
Money, funding,
Okay, that would that's not the
partnerships,
magical look I was looking for.
and it doesn't quite fit in with the Nemo theme, which the whole thing is supposed to have now, because everything has to be branded with a Disney or Pixar character. Nothing can be just park themed, because that's
Epcot.
doesn't sell.
Epcot isn't supposed to be necessarily.
Yes, but there's
Character
the
theme.
brand names sell things,
Yeah,
so that's why they do it.
but it's Epcot.
I agree. It's Epcot. It should. It can have its own character. Well,
Well,
it has one.
it has one, and they do not play it enough, and I don't understand why. Because it's one
It's
of my
the
favorites.
only Disney cartoon character that has not left the parks. Well, except for a couple of video
They've never
clips
had
here
it.
and there.
Yeah, they don't have any movie. They don't have.
They had a TV show for a while. I don't know if it's an actual TV show, if it was just something they showed in schools. I've only seen like 1 or 2 clips of it, and the character is Figment.
Figment.
And the attraction
so
is Journey
awesome.
to the Journey to the Center of the Universe. Is what I was going to say,
Imagination.
not right. Yes, Journey to the Imagination with Figment. Yes.
It's a very catchy tune. It will get in your head, and we like that. That's one of the rides on our list. Journey to Imagination with Figment, and it's had a different
It's-
name a couple times.
Well, it's had more than a different name
Well,
a couple
yeah.
times. The original that everyone loves, when it first opened, it was just Journey into Imagination, and it had this it was actually a really long ride originally. It was close to 15 minutes. And
It's the only ride in Disney that you can see a Monty Python character in. So,
yes,
not as such, but the actor.
yes, you can definitely see, yes. But many people don't care for him in that role
What? I love him. He's great. He's the moon.
as Dr. Nigel Channing,
Yeah.
yes. Mostly because it was already tainted from him being by himself in the middle version of it.
Yeah.
When they had first changed it, they completely got rid of Figment and Dreamfinder, who is the creator of Figment, and blah blah blah. And everyone hates it. You can find out much about this on YouTube, and on the internet in general, actually. And then they made the current version, which is kind of a compromise between the two ideas of it being scientific and not. And so that's what it is, and some people like it, some people hate it, and then there's people in the middle.
You know what? It's if you don't look into all that stuff first, go to the ride, just enjoy it for what it is, and then afterwards look up all the background and the controversy. Because who cares about the controversy? It's a ride for little kids. It's very sweet. It's cute. Everybody loves.
Yes, but
Figment.
Brave Little Toaster was supposed to be a movie for kids, and you don't know how many fans are grown adults.
Because they grew up with it.
No, they didn't. They were already in their 20s when they first watched it. They didn't grow
I
up
like
with
the
nothing.
Brave Little Toaster.
Well, so do I, but I
That's-
also grew up with
That's
it.
a whole other subject we're not going to get into on this episode. That's
But
a
that's
whole
my
other podcast.
point.
But Figment has got to be on your list if you have little kids, not only because it's a really cute little ride with an adorable character that you will not see anywhere else. He's really, I think, iconic of Epcot's Tomorrowland. He should be the spokesman for Epcot. Forget
Kind of is
trying to
in
bring
some
all
ways.
these other characters in. Make him a bigger character. He would go over huge. And then people could quit asking about dragons in Animal Kingdom, because there is a dragon already. He exists, and you people need to get to know him better. That's it. That's all I have to
Purple
say about
dragon
that.
with yellow wings,
But
not orange like they repainted him recently.
Yes, yellow wings, purple and yellow. But also because at the end of that ride, which is really fun and cool and full of whimsy,
yeah.
at the end of the ride is the little lab, which they keep changing the name of. Also, what's it called now? It's not the Kodak lab anymore.
No, because Kodak left, which puts the whole attraction in turmoil. But it's the Fun Labs or something or other.
Yeah, but you come out and there's some little interactive little kiosk where you can play music with Figment or do certain other. I think they're gonna get rid of some of them. Last time I was
They
there,
already
they had
started to.
commercialized it a little bit more, and it wasn't as cool as it used to be. But I mean, that's a fun little place for kids to hang out. It's inside, air conditioned. You can be there with your children. Just kind of, I think they should put a couple benches in there
Or at
for
least
the
a couple
parents.
more.
And just let the kids run and play and explore.
And it
learn
bleeds
stuff.
really well into the gift shop, so you can actually look in the gift shop while they're still playing. Not have a problem there.
So, I think that's a must-do while you're at, especially if you're at Epcot. And there's so little at Epcot for kids to do.
True.
So, if you don't take them there, it's really kind of cheating them, I think.
Yeah,
Plus, you get to know Figment.
The only other things that really, in my opinion, are that, and then if you go, there's the Finding Nemo, and then there's also in that same building Turtle Talk with Crush, which is really cool. Awesome technology going on there too.
Oh yes, I forgot about Turtle Talk.
Yes, I don't think that made it to our
That's
list.
not a
did it?
ride. That's an.
It's true, it's a show, but I would say it would be on my list of things to do for kids that are in that age range.
Yeah, because Crush actually does interact with the kids, unlike the other one that just seems like it's interacting. Crush actually does interact. It's kind of on the isn't it the same technology they use on the laugh floor?
Yeah, Crush was the testing proving grounds for what they're doing in laugh floor.
Okay.
That's what he was. It's a digital puppet. That's what Crush is.
Basically, yeah. But the little ones like him a lot.
Oh, it's awesome.
Dudes, come on, little bros. Okay, so then after that, let's see what else we got. How about... We didn't even talk about some of the classic dark rides or ride-throughs in
Yeah, I know.
Magic
Someone's
Kingdom.
probably yelling at their computer screen by now.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about Small World. Okay, because you have
It's
to.
a small world
It's
after
iconic.
all.
It's required. Look, I don't care how much you hate it, how much
Or
that
the
song
song.
gets on your nerves. You have to take your child on. It's a Small World. Okay, yes, we ranted before. Nobody has to get on this ride, but you do if you have small children. You're required to, and you have to pretend like you like it. I actually do like it. I love to go on it. I'll go on it over and over again. But I have never taken a child on it who didn't like it.
It's the
Even
cutest
annoying
little boat
teenagers who don't like to admit that they like it. Not just because of the song, but there are how many dolls are in that thing? It's got to be some ridiculous number, like 3,000. I know it's a trivia question that I'm missing here. It's like 3,000 or something like. It's some ridiculous number.
Yeah, I think that was on that trivia game that we were playing the other day.
But I mean, when they don't just have all the countries, which everybody always thinks of. They have New Zealand, and they have Hawaii, and which is not actually a country anymore. Japan and China.
Built for the World's Fair that we had in America.
France, Holland. So they have all these great countries. And themes, but they also have some fantastical little characters. They have giraffes and elephants and monkeys hanging from the ceiling.
Giraffes, elephants, and monkeys actually exist. They're
And
not fantastical.
they got rid of. Shut up. The way they do it there.
Well, okay, I know what you're about to say they got rid of, but we haven't confirmed what it is. It's just a little blue creature.
But everybody always said it was Stitch.
It does. It
There's
did
a little,
look
there was,
a lot like Stitch.
There was a little fantastical creature. He rode in an air balloon.
Yep.
So if you looked up, you could see him, and everybody would always say, "Oh, it's Stitch." And the last time we went, Stitch was gone. Now I know that they have Stitch's Great Escape, but I don't think that's where he went. I could be wrong. Why would they remove that little character? Did they get tired of people saying it was Stitch?
Possibly.
It wasn't Stitch. It had been there years before.
It was like a clown or something.
But it was just
a
cute.
little blue figure, and from that far away against the dark background, you didn't know what it was.
They should put it back. Or put actual Stitch in. That would be hilarious.
That would be cute.
A little Easter egg for people to find.
Well, they might have put it back by now. It might have just been out for refurbishment.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah. Well, so next time we go, we got to look for it. He's in an air balloon if you go. Look for the character in the air balloon and see if you see it. So it's a Small World. That's an absolute you have to go to it. Oh, and something a lot of people don't realize. If you look as you're going through near the beginning, near the entrance to the ride, if you look up, there's a window you can see. That's an actual window in the restaurant next door.
I had completely forgot about that too. We happened Village House is what it was called when we were there. I believe they might have changed the name again to something else, Pinocchio. But yeah, I'd forgotten that fact completely until we happened to go in there for lunch one day. We never do that normally. because we usually eat somewhere else. But we went in there and we just happened to, it's a small world right down there.
So if you go in there, try to sit near the window, and then you can actually look into the Small World ride while you eat your lunch. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a fast service restaurant. I would have thought
It's
it was
like
a
a
nicer
pizza place.
restaurant, but it's not. You know,
Yeah.
it's you go and get your
It's
food and sit down.
designed to look like a nice
Yeah,
casual dining restaurant, but
it's a lot
fast
bigger
service.
on the inside. I think it's. Really,
It's a TARDIS.
I think it is, because on the outside it looks like a little small house, and then you go in and there's a
It's
quite
called
large dining
forced
room.
perspective for a reason.
They forced you to spend a lot of money, so your perspective is. No, okay.
It's supposed to look like a little tiny shop and then be bigger on the inside. That's what Disney does well.
So there was one more thing that we were two more, and they're very similar. They're both what are traditionally called the dark rides, which are the indoor rides where you sit in a little car and it takes you through various scenes. And that's Peter Pan's Flight and the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
The only, besides what you see in it, there's two big differences between those attractions. One, in my opinion, is the quality, but I'm not getting into that. Peter Pan's Flight is a hanging style, so everything's below you. And Winnie the Pooh, you're riding in a honey pot, which is riding on the ground, so everything's right at eye level.
I'm going to be 100%, and I'll probably annoy some people, but Peter Pan's Flight did not impress me at
It
all.
reminded me of the E.T. ride.
It reminded me very much of the old E.T. ride at Universal California, which is to say, relying way too much on people's, love of the story, and
I mean,
yeah,
it may not feel like you need to have better quality. We may be spoiled by better quality nowadays, but at the same time,
I think it's due for a refurbishment.
it needs something.
It needs. I mean, you have the little model of London down there, and that might have been cute in 1960, but in 2013, it looks like a little model. That's really all it looks like. So I really think they could do something to make it look a little more realistic, to really give you the feeling that you're actually flying through London. I mean, when you look at some of the rides
Maybe
they
add
have,
some
the
smog.
3D rides, they really. I think it used to have smog, and maybe they got rid of. Maybe people didn't like it. I don't know, but.
Yeah, no one likes smog. That's why nowhere you can
Well,
smoke.
forget smog. I mean, they could have had just some mist, because London is foggy, right? And there's no air effects blowing on you, so you don't really feel like you're flying. It's simple fixes. I think they could really do a lot more with it, and it wouldn't hurt to shut it down because it's not that busy.
No, there's almost never a wait.
The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, it's a very simple ride. That is an actual ground mover ride.
Yes.
The best thing about it, in my opinion, I think most people agree, is the Tigger part where you're hopping.
Oh yeah, they put in the little actuators in
And
there
the
so that when you
wonderful
go,
thing about Tiggers, and you're
You
actually
bounce
sort of
around a little
bouncing,
bit.
and I think kids love that. And of course, they have the blustery day part, so there's wind blowing and so forth. So,
Yeah,
see, in that one, they actually used other effects. So
yeah, it's a blustery day, and then they had the heffalumps.
the heffalumps, that's right. So I think between the two, if I had to pick, if you have a short day, you don't have enough time to do everything, Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah,
hands down. Unless your kid is just gaga for Peter Pan and you just have to do Peter Pan. Okay, so there are many, many, many rides that did not make our list. There are 2 mini rides for kids at Disney World to put them on, on the 10 list. Obviously, Bugs Life over there in Animal Kingdom, and of course the other rides at Animal Kingdom.
Primeval World.
And there's lots of activities to be done. We just picked the top 10 sort of classic, everybody must do rides.
Yeah.
So.
And more or less actual rides.
And technically, I think the little ride, what used to be Rio del Tiempo, which is now Donald's Fiesta.
Yeah, Fiesta tours or whatever.
In Mexico in Epcot is a great one to take kids on. It's not scary at all. It doesn't bump. It's not particularly dark. It's not
Very
particularly
short.
loud. It's short. And it has Donald Duck doing funny stuff. So that's another one that's great for kids. I mean, there's too much to name.
Yeah.
So that's our 10 list, and stick around for the next one.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.